Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with my hero, and this is it. We're on the final episode of season 3. So after this, it's going to be the first time that I've been without my hero on my channel for pretty much every week, aside from like the times when the season decided to take a hiatus for a couple weeks. But yeah, I mean, this is it. This is going to be it for like the next year or whatever the fuck. I think they say that like it starts in like April, so yeah, quite a ways away anyway. But yeah, here we are in the last episode. So the big thing last episode was what we ended on was apparently the group that's known as like the big three, or like the top three students of the school. Tintin, the guy who looks exactly like Sasuke from Naruto, and the lass with blue hair. And we've got some Twice backstory as well, which I really liked. I like his character now, like way more. There's so much more like substance there, something to latch onto and give us a reason to actually care about him more, which I think is always good for especially villains, because you know it's easy to obviously put in. I can give the protagonists and the heroes personality, but to give the villains personality as well and give them something that's not just like the same old, oh, I'm a villain, I like to do villain stuff, that's it, you know what I mean? So I feel like it's good. The Twice backstory stuff is really good. And we got a little peek at somebody called Overhaul, which yeah, I imagine Twice is gonna pick him up, bring him over to the League of Villains, and see how that ends up. But yeah, this is it, the finale. So we're gonna get into it and see what we get, shall we? Let's go. Unrivaled.
The best of the hero course. The big three.
Of all the talented students here, they're the ones at the top.
They're on a different level. If they're as good as I hear, then they're the students we should be chasing after.
I could only see his face then, so I didn't recognize
Scars on
him.
his arms and
But
stuff.
I know who he is. He was in the sports festival I watched from home last year. He didn't do very well, but he definitely left a strong impression.
Introduce yourselves briefly. Let's start with Amajiki.
What's with that look?
What?
It's no good.
Oh, is he just shaved
Go.
public
I
speaking?
just can't. My mind's blank, and my mouth is dry.
Come on, Amajiki. You need to have the heart of a lion, not a kitten. This is our kitten, Tamaki Amajiki. And hi, my name is Neji Rehado. Why are you wearing a mask? Is it because you're feeling sick? Or just trying to look cool?
Oh, I've seen him
How'd you get
from-
that big burn on your face?
That's none of your...
And Ashido, if your horns break off, you think you'll grow new ones? When you wiggle...
The future's gonna be... Gonna be what? Awful! That's your part, guys! Well, crap! My
Awful?
call response was a total fail! Okay, you guys look like you have no idea what's going on. I guess we are third years who just showed up in your classroom to explain a program that's completely voluntary. But the problem is, you must not have a sense of humor. That's why my joke didn't land.
Don't do it.
Heads up! The rad new plan is all you first years fight me at once!
Really?
Fight us?
One against the whole class.
Do whatever you want.
Damn.
Is he for real?
This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so it's real.
Mirio, you're impossible. Think about how bad it'll look if some of them can't recover after fighting you. No one wants to spend the next few years in a hospital.
Let's think about this. You're obviously much further ahead than us, but we've fought pros before.
Not to mention we took down some legitimate villains.
Now who's gonna start this party?
I've got this.
Might be a bit of underestimate.
I'm first.
You stole my thunder!
Oh, the problem child. Yes, this is perfect. I've heard you got plenty of fire in you.
The top student at UA. How will I fare against him at my level? How much distance is
Oh
between
shit.
us?
The close combat
That's a-
team should surround him.
It's a Batgirl stance.
Let's do it! We've got ourselves a new mentor.
Oh, for Christ's
Why did your clothes just fall off?
Bad move. You're open.
sake. Oh shit.
So that's
Everything in his...
Quirk lets things pass through him.
Where'd he go? I think I'll start long-distance fighters.
Mirio's quirk isn't what you should be jealous of. You should be envying his skills. That's what sets him apart.
The straight up talent, yeah. Damn.
Mirio Togata. In my opinion, he's the person who's closest to taking the spot of #1 hero. That's including the pros.
Damn.
A student, but closer to being #1 than most heroes.
All that's left are the ones who specialize in close quarters combat.
I have no idea how he just did that.
If you can't touch him,
Unrivaled. Just that one word and I can tell what level you're all at. Like how an ordinary person might think a pro's impressive, but
There's more to his quirk than we're seeing. Whether his true power is slipping through matter, or whether he's somehow warping himself through space. Either way, he's still landing his attacks directly. In the moment he's
the
about
moment
to
he
make
attacks.
contact.
Yeah, so he, obviously there's
Even if we can't tell what he's doing, we should theorize with what we do know.
He went under!
Take over.
I bet he'll probably come up. There!
There he is.
He wasn't surprised?
Oh!
He predicted this is where I'd be. Watch this! An ultimate move!
Oh, damn.
Blinder touch eyeball crush!
Oh, shit!
Nice try, though.
This guy.
I tried to make it so you wouldn't see my willy. Sorry if you got it.
Willie.
But anyway, that's a taste of what it's like to fight me.
Oh, man.
Without ever knowing what was
Oh,
going on.
fuck's sake.
How can you slip through things and warp? Do you have 2 powers like Todoroki does?
Nope, just the one. I've got a sweet quirk that's called permeation. What you guys thought of as a warp was, you guessed it, simply an alternative application of that power. I activate my quirk in my entire body. Then I can pass through anything I want, no sweat.
Yeah, so it's just a phase
Everything.
phase
That
through
includes
stuff.
solid ground.
But
That's right,
how
I
does
went
he-
deep underground? And then, whenever I release my quirk while I'm falling, something super strange happens.
He gets brought back up to the
Apparently, things
top.
with mass can't overlap. That's called physics.
Yeah, so he
I
gets
get
propped back
repelled
up.
upward.
Ah, got you. Okay, I was
Think
gonna
of it
wonder
this
then.
way.
Sounds like a buggy video game.
Hey, that's pretty funny.
Oh, you were born with a really strong quirk.
Not true. My power's only strong because I made it that way. While my quirk is activated, my lungs can't take in oxygen. Even if I breathe in, the air will just pass through.
Oh shit.
In the same way, my eardrums don't work. And light can't go through my retinas. Can't feel
That
anything
means
while I'm
it-
in that
oh,
state.
fuck.
Even though I have a body, I can't stop falling. That's why if I want to go through something like, say, a wall, I have to concentrate really hard. I'll activate everything except one leg. Then I release the other leg and land on it. And then the first
Do it
leg
in
is the
time.
last one to go through. Growing up, I was always behind, as you might expect. In no time, I dropped to dead last. In order to get to the top with this quirk, I couldn't just hope that things would get better. I had to think. I learned to make combat decisions. I learned to predict what would happen next. And what made those predictions possible in the first place was experience. I based my predictions on what I'd learned. In our work studies, we're not treated as guests like in our internships. We're regarded as one of the sidekicks, or even as a pro. That can be super scary. Pros can get hurt. Every scary and painful thing you go through is an important experience that you can't get inside a classroom, even at UA.
This guy's cool. This guy's
Turn
awesome.
experience into power.
He even gives pep talks like a pro. I need to get my provisional license soon, or I'll be left behind.
At first, his quirk was something that held him back. But still, he made the most of his power. He's not standing at the top of UA because he was born strong. He worked incredibly hard to get to that point.
Way to go, Mirio. A+.
He was pretty close, though, a few times, and they saw me naked.
Yeah, but did anyone surprise you? I want to know. Come.
Well, I mostly defeat people using the element of surprise. That problem child analyzed my first round of moves, and then predicted what I'd do. I bet Sir would love to meet him.
Sir?
Got trash, then bring it over here right now!
back it goes. Thanks.
Hand it over! Mine too.
And mine. This is heavy.
Thanks, man.
Merci!
It's like it's like
Bastards, it's like you've been hoarding this for weeks!
it's like like an old mother.
You've learned about what a work study is from the big 3. but it hasn't been decided yet whether or not you'll be allowed to do one. And if we're going to approve this, we'll have to think of how we'll handle the media.
Yes, what can I help you with?
Huh? Work study? Wait, who is this again?
Wonder finally remembered who I am, huh, big shot?
Sorry, kid. I'm working on something else right now, so why don't you go ask your master about it instead of calling me? He is supposed to be devoting himself to teaching now that he's retired, right? Don't you think that All Might can introduce you to a bunch of new people? First one that comes to mind is his former sidekick.
Oh shit! The guy who's supposed to be in Two Heroes, right?
One of the persons we're investigating is on the move. Overhaul.
This is your base. Looks pretty unsanitary.
Huh? Like we'd show you where our main base is. This one's just a meeting place.
It appears he's made contact with the League of Villains.
Well now, you brought us a pretty big catch, huh, Twice?
Just like we were one step closer to becoming real heroes, so too were the villains moving even deeper into the darkness.
It's always the same.
Soon, they would meet.
Ah, fuck! Bastard! It's gotta be a fucking... Okay, there it is. The finale of Season 3, Episode 25. So... right, yeah, so we got introduced to the big three. It's Omajiki, I didn't get her full name. I think it was Nejime or something like that. I think it's something like that. And then Mirio, which is more or less the important one, because he is sort of flagged to become All Might's replacement as number one. And the fact that Aizawa says that above, like, you know, pro heroes out in the world today, that is a big fucking props, to be honest, innit? And I mean, you can kind of see why. The way Mirio sort of, the way he holds himself and the way that he can easily be one to take over All Might, you know what I mean? He just has that sort of, that presence about him, you know what I mean? And not only is he strong, you know what I mean? He worked around his quirk to... You know what I mean? He's the one that strengthened his quirk. The quirk wasn't the one that strengthened him, which I really like. I like the idea that it's like working hard, and it's based around that, as opposed to just being given a powerful quirk, and that's the reason why. I think it's much better that way. He was told he was working, or he did a work study over in Europe. So yeah, there's that. His quirk is permeation, so yeah, it's phasing through basically everything. And yeah, the fact that when he's in that state, he can't breathe, he can't hear, and he can't see, because the fact is that he's, you know, to be able to turn his body into that sort of things, that everything and anything phases through him, essentially becomes you know, something that doesn't have any real matter, you know what I mean? Like, he's not made up of anything, so everything that is made up of matter completely just goes through him, including light and sound waves and vibrations and everything like that. Everything just, you know, phases through him, so that's crazy. I like the fact that, because I did have the question was like, yeah, wait a minute, he can phase through the floor, but how does he go back up? Because surely if everything was phased, then, you know, then you wouldn't be able to propel yourself up, right? Obviously they said that, it's like, well, you know, for him to come back into being, they can't really, you know what I mean, like the whole object with mass that suddenly has something propped into it pushes them back out, so it's it's a strange one. It's cool though, I like that. It does make me think, like, in the last episode when he was just phasing through with his face, does that mean that he can control down to like ridiculous, because like yeah, it's because he did say like if he was walking through a wall, he could apply his quirk to like, you know, to only certain places, and I'm guessing from the fact that he can, you know, he can literally just have his face sticking out of the floor, that he's able to do that with just like, he's able to go down to just his face if he wants to. Like, he can go down to like such a ridiculous level. So he has like such control over his power. Yeah, and that's why his clothes keep falling off, because his clothes and yeah, that's funny. I'm wondering then, is that he's never going to be able to have a suit. Well, he can do, but like as soon as he uses it, it's just going to like become removed again, because, you know, like just because of the way his quirk works, the fact that he, you know, he just becomes nothing essentially. That not like, you'll not be able to make anything that could stick to him, you know. That's crazy. I like how he used his body to like phase through Midoriya and use it to blind him, because as much as like Mirio just becomes like essentially nothing, like no matter, you can still see him, you know what I mean? So the fact that he can just put his arm like through your face, so essentially you're just looking like, oh, I don't know, you'll be just looking at the inside of him, right? Oh, I don't even think about that. Like, if you're inside of him, you would just see the inside, right? That would be weird. That'd be so weird. But he's able to blind you, which is crazy. I'm trying to think like what would. I like the use of it though. I like the use of him blinding his opponent with himself, because he can't just phase through it. So that's awesome. The thing that I'm struggling with, because I'm trying to think, if he uses his quirk, right, to phase, and he says he can't see anything or hear anything whilst in that state, right? Then surely light, that's the thing, like he shouldn't be able to be seen then. Because if light can't penetrate his eyes to the point where he can see, then surely light shouldn't be able to shine off him. Like shine off the parts that he's that's in that state, right? So he should be able to just go invisible as well. Yeah. So he shouldn't even be able to be seen, right? I don't know. Yeah, that's a weird one. Because I don't know. Some people might need to tell me about that, because I'm thinking like, if that was the whole, he did mention that, right? He did mention he can't breathe and he can't hear and he can't see, because he comes essentially, he just becomes like matterless. So, you know, light could never penetrate his eyes because he's in that state, therefore he couldn't see whilst in that state, which means that like surely anything that's in that state wouldn't reflect light off it, which means nobody would be able to see him. But I don't know, someone might need to tell me that. Let's have a look. I put my notes all over here, so it's a bit fuck. Yeah, but he had them all. Well, Mirio's the one that actually decided for him to go up against all Class 1A. Obviously, Class 1A ended up like the underestimated him, because you know, they've had run-ins with villains and stuff like that before, and they're able to handle them in the situations that they have been in. But yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where, you know, they got more than the bargain for, especially from someone who's, you know, looking to replace All Might as the #1. So, you know, if he's that high a standard, you know what I mean, it does go to show a lot that in this show the heroes, especially the pros, are able to, you know what I mean, that they're actually on such a high level. Every time you see them, you know what I mean, they can easily outdo any of the students, you know what I mean. So it's to put him on that sort of level, you know what I mean. He's definitely capable. So yeah, not surprising. It just it makes me wonder, like, if did they, and I could just be blowing smoke up Bakugo's ass because, you know what I mean, my favorite character, but I'm wondering if they purposefully took out Bakugo, and to some extent Todoroki as well. Although I think Todoroki is slower than Bakugo when it comes to like combat. I wonder if they purposefully kept those two out. Like he wrote the story specifically to keep those two out against Mirio, because they might have been able to actually do better than some of the other students. It's possible, but then again, it's like, you know what I mean, because Deku's fast as fuck as well. But I don't know, because I'm not sure what the speed is. If there was like a stat of how fast and reactionary they are, because even though Deku did his shoot style against him, he still wasn't quick enough. So yeah, possibly. It does seem though that they wrote the story specifically so that Todoroki and Bakugo wouldn't face off against them. But I don't know. That's all just a hypothetical, because I don't know what's going through his head. Where else? What else we got? Yeah, talking about Bakugo, fucking Deku with his Bakugo stance. Before they started fighting, Deku had such a fucking Bakugo stance on him. It's really, it's cool. Like, I love I love the fact that Deku does a lot of Bakugo stuff. Like a lot of that like Bakugo's mentality and stuff transfers over to Deku. And it's cool to see that. I haven't seen him do that before with the Bakugo stance. I like that. But he does copy Bakugo a lot when it comes to, you know, like he obviously said in episode 23 about him, sometimes, you know what I mean, his winning mentality overshadows everything else, even even saving someone, just because he wants to win. And also he did that thing back in season 1 where he was on the boat. There's a lot of times where he sort of uses Bakugo as a sort of as inspiration, or, you know, you can see the reflection in Deku. So yes, I'm not sure what the other two's quirks are. Neji seems, I'll just call her Neji. She seems very like outspoken. They all said that, like, yeah, she's an airhead and whatnot, but they all have like they're all strange and when it comes to socializing. Mirio's, you know, he's able to do it. He's able to pull it off very nice and be inspirational and stuff and motivational. But yeah, Neji was saying that Omajiki is sort of like a kitten, or, you know what I mean. So I don't know. There's possibly something with that regarding his quirk. I don't know what it could possibly be though. But we're not getting anything fucking regarding what their quirks are, I guess, until next season. And yeah, Mirio mentioned Sir as well. So I don't know I don't know if that's in regards to their homeroom teacher or even a teacher at school. He could be regarding someone he went away for a work study, or I don't know. But I imagine since they were all together, to call them Sir, I'd imagine it's possibly a teacher. See, that's the thing with UA, is like, it seems like such a massive school, considering the fact that, like, that's where we've spent pretty much all of our time, is in and around like UA, that, you know what I mean, this is the first time we're even seeing third years, or, you know, or second years from UA. So there's got to be teachers that are teaching the third years and whatnot that we haven't even seen before. But yeah. And right, I think that is all aside from Overhaul. So Overhaul is going to be the one that's joining up with the League of Villains, I imagine. Obviously, you got that yin yang thing going where, like, you know, every time obviously the heroes are progressing, the villains are as well. Because obviously you need them on a you know, at least 11 playing field. So so there's that. I don't know what his deal is with sickness. Like, it seems he has something with like fucking like disease and whatnot. And you can tell, like, because obviously the way his mask is, that like it's the same kind of thing as what doctors and things like that, like fucking so many years ago. I'm talking about, like, I don't even know like what time period it was. It must have been like about, I don't know, like 500 years ago or something like that. We'll just say that. Yeah, when doctors used to use like bird masks things, and that's what that is, that beak thing. I can say that obviously there's a reason why he wears that mask, to have the same sort of to basically emphasize the fact, like, that whole thing. So I'm trying to guess what his quirk is from that, and honestly I cannot fucking I could not guess. Even his name, Overhaul, I couldn't even tell you what that means either. Like, what in what relation could Overhaul have to his quirk? Can't think of it. I mean, I imagine like that name has some like, it relates to his power. If it doesn't, then, well, I guess it doesn't. But I imagine it does, considering most of them do. But yeah. But that's all. That's all. We're done. We're done with My Hero. For the first time since I started. Since I started doing reactions and stuff. Because My Hero was the first one that I did. That was at the very end of March. I started reacting. And it was just something that you know, I wanted to do something with my YouTube channel, because my YouTube channel's been around for like 8 going on 9 years now. And I always just did, like, you know, I did games and stuff, and I just played them, and you know, I would put in like a lot of work and edit them, like hours upon hours of editing, and yeah, just never got, like, I never got views, or I never got, you know, as much as the time that I was putting in. It was never worth it in the end. So, you know, I would keep coming back and I would keep doing it, you know, and hoping that the people would get to see it, but they never did. So, you know, I would keep coming back, going away, just because I kept getting demotivated and whatever. And this time around, when I come to, you know, the end of March and whatever, and I hadn't watched any anime in a long time. Because back when I was in school, and just after school, I watched that was all I did. I watched anime and stuff. And I hadn't watched any anime in like at least a few years. And, you know, people were talking about like My Hero and whatnot, and people were saying that this is something special. And yeah, I mean, I had like Blind Wave. That's the only reactors that I even watch. You know, but they were doing My Hero as well, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a go, because I felt like it was something that it would be an interesting thing to have for like my to have recordings of like my first sort of experience with a show that's so loved as like My Hero, and it has these moments where it really fucking, it takes me back to those days, like the first times I ever watched anime, and like you know, a lot of times, and like it reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z, or even those like, or Bleach, or like those, you know, those shonen anime that have those moments where it just fucking, like, I don't even know how to describe it, because like you kind of just get enveloped with emotion watching these shows, which is something that, like, you know, it's an emotion that you'd never get watching anything else. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to watch trying to get those like rush of emotions in like live action films or whatever. It's or TV shows. It's just something that just doesn't happen. and I feel like, you know, there's something really special about anime, and this show has fucking done that for me, like, you know, countless times. You know, and I've got my actual reactions to these episodes on YouTube. You know, so that's something I can always go back to and watch. And obviously, if it wasn't for this, then I wouldn't be doing what I am now, which is able to fucking make reactions for people. You know what I mean? And that spans across the whole load of different series now, which so yeah, I'm fucking buzzing that. I'm really happy that I get to do this. And we will be fucking back for season 4, no fucking doubt about it. So yeah, that'll be next year. But yeah, this has been an absolute treat. I love it. I think when it comes to you know, the sort of last half of this season, the provisional licensing arc was a bit like, it wasn't the greatest. I still love it, I still like it, but it's not the it was definitely, like, obviously a downhill battle, but it always was going to be a downhill battle, I think. Or sorry, an uphill battle, I would say, trying to you know, on the back of what happened in the first half, because the first half was unbelievable. You had the whole camp and the bloody Vanguard Action Squad from the League of Villains turn up, and you had that whole fight with Muscular and whatnot, and then, you know, come back and you're immediately into the fucking back into the fray with All For One coming out, and you have All Might coming and fighting his last battle and shit, and, you know, the whole rescue with Batgirl and whatnot, and then, you know, it was always going to be an uphill battle, I think, on the provisional license arc. You know, there's still cool moments in there, but it was definitely going to be an uphill battle, and then obviously come back around to the Deco and Kachan fucking fight number 2. It's fucking great. I love it. So yeah, I feel like as a sort of arc, the provisional license wasn't all that, like, you know, it fell a bit short, or at least it just felt that way, you know what I mean? But aside from that, it doesn't matter, because it was still good, and I still loved it, and you got introduced to characters which hopefully get some more time, because otherwise I just think it's pointless at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Just to introduce characters, almost feel like they're so important to them, but then never see them for a while. So hopefully they're back. I mean, we did see Shinso. Last episode, it was 24, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's back. I'm wanting him to play a bigger part, because I've always said, like, and a lot of people say this is like from season 2, is like he's somebody who is you know, who's like a sort of, he needs to be like a mainstay character for UA, and he's the only one that isn't even in the hero course. You know what I mean? He's you know what I mean? I'd say he's almost, he's not really as prominent as Class 1B, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'm rambling on. So yeah, that is also, thank you everyone for watching. Anyone who's, you know what I mean, has been here from the very fucking beginning. You know, I absolutely love you guys to bits. This has been an absolute privilege to do it, right? And we're going to be fucking back next year. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord. I urge everyone to go over there, especially if you want me to react to a certain show, because that's where polls and things start. Also, if you just want to come over and chat to me in the community, you're free to do that as well. And Patreon. So Patreon offers a lot of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me. If you do want to support me, then you can get some stuff for doing so. So early access, that's the most popular one. That's the $5 a month. So for that, you gain access to 4 episodes across all of the Patreon shows that I do a week, as opposed to the 2 that the general public get a week. So yeah, you get them a week earlier, and you get 2 extra a week, which is great. So if you're clamoring for more reactions from me more frequently, that's where you want to go. Yeah, $10 a month, that's the full length. So if you want to see my full length reactions to all the shows I do, then that's where you want to go. Everything I react to gets a full length. $15 a month, that's the exclusive tier, so that gives you access to another show that I'm currently reacting to, which is Parasite. Also, all OVA reactions and all movie reactions go into there as well. $50 a month, that's the elite tier, so for that you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. I'll go at the back of the list. I think there's about 7 shows in there at the moment, so it might take me a while to get round to yours. But if you want to jump the queue and go to the very front, then you want to get God tier, which is $100, and that means that your show will be reacted to next. The only rules on those last 2 tiers are that it must be a show that I've never seen before, and it must be a show that's 150 episodes or less, and also it's both accumulative on those last 2 shows, last 2 tiers as well. So with my Patreon being set up on a pay monthly basis. If you pay like the first month, you can get your show on the list, and then the second month comes along, if you pay again, you get another choice. So every time you pay, you get a choice of a show. But that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.